Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another trip announcement video. I was thinking how I have all these different packing videos that I want to do, but then I thought, I should probably share that we are going to Disney World first. So that is what I'm doing today. I'm going to share all of our trip plans, our itinerary, where we're staying. You guys know this is my favorite kind of video to film, so let's go ahead and dive into it. So our trip dates are July 17th through the 21st. So we will be there 4 nights, and it's just gonna be me and my mom and my 2.5-year-old Ellie Rose. This will be her first time back, Ellie Rose's first time back, since our last trip with her in December. And I'm feeling really confident. She's at a really fun age right now, and I think this trip is gonna go a lot better with her this go around, just because it's been, 7 months since the last trip. So I think it's just gonna go a lot better. And one thing that will be very different for us is that we are driving. So to save money on flights, we are going to road trip it, and it's gonna take us about 10.5 hours plus stops. And the more I've been thinking about it and processing it, I'm actually really excited that we're driving. It's gonna give us so much more flexibility. I won't have to worry about a carry-on or liquids or how much my suitcase weighs.
We'll have our own car seat. I can bring our own packing plate if I want to. I can bring a small cooler with all kinds of drinks and snacks, and I can pack sandwiches for the road trip, and we can bring a case of water if we want to. I mean, just all kinds of things that you can't obviously fly with, we can bring in our car.
I'm really excited to experience the road trip side of a Disney vacation. I'm really looking forward to it, surprisingly. Okay, moving on to our resort, because this is my favorite part to talk about. Because we did book this a little more last minute, honestly, I can't remember the last time we have booked a trip 6 months to a year out. We, at least for the past year, have booked our trips 1 to 3 months in advance. No, 1 to 2 months in advance. And that's just what has worked well for us this past year. So we booked this trip a few weeks ago, and because, availability is limited when you book a last minute trip, you either get really lucky with something available on the Disney website with a discount, or like we're doing on this trip, we went the dedicated DVC rental route. And I have a full video all about how to utilize dedicated DVC rentals and explaining what it is, so I'll have that linked for you. But basically, when an owner has a DVC reservation and they no longer are able to use it, or they don't want to use it, they can list that reservation for sale. You have to purchase it as it is. You can't change the dates or the view or the room type. You have to purchase that reservation as is. So I was able to piece together 2 dedicated DVC rentals that matched up with our dates. So our first 2 nights, we are gonna be staying at the Grand Floridian. You guys, I have never stayed at the Grand Floridian. I'm so excited to experience this. We're gonna be staying in a deluxe studio, so not one of the new resort studios, but the original deluxe studio in the main Villa's DVC building. And from what I've seen, these rooms look beautiful. I believe they just went under one of the soft goods refurbishment, meaning they replaced the couch with that pull-down Murphy bed, they redid the headboard, so some smaller things to kind of upgrade the room, and it looks really, really good. So I'm excited to stay at the Grand Floridian for a few reasons. The main reason being the proximity to Magic Kingdom. So I'll get into our itinerary here in a second, but having that freedom to go back and forth so easily from Magic Kingdom is going to be so valuable, and that is honestly part of what you're paying for, is that convenience and the location, and then of course all the amenities that come with staying at the Grand Floridian. You have so many amazing dining options. The pools look amazing. Every time that we have just been there to either visit or eat at Narcoossee's or just walk around and enjoy the atmosphere, I always look at the pools and think, oh my goodness, these look so relaxing. The splash pad looks so fun. I'm just so excited to experience this firsthand with actually staying here. So we're gonna be there our first 2 nights, and then our next 2 nights we are staying at Old Key West. Now, typically I would try to start at Old Key West and then move over to the Grand Floridian, but because this was a last minute trip with the DVC dedicated reservation route, you know, I had to go with what was available for the dates we had, and this matched up really great. I love Old Key West. I adore that resort. It's one of my favorites. So being able to stay in a 1-bedroom there is already a huge treat, and it's gonna be so much fun. Okay, let's move on to our itinerary. So our first day is our travel day. I obviously don't have any plans for this day. I'm not making any dinner reservations or anything like that, just because we have such a long road trip ahead of us. Ideally, I would love to leave as early as possible to get there before 7 p.m. just so we don't start the trip completely exhausted, and it would give us time to get settled in the room, maybe go grab dinner at the quick service and kind of just walk around the resort for a little bit. But I hope we don't get there too late. So we'll see. I know a little bit of that is out of our control with traffic, or, you know, who knows what, but in a perfect world, we would get there before 7 p.m. So we'll see how it goes. But that is gonna be our first day and our travel day. And day 2, our first full day, we will be at Magic Kingdom. And this obviously made sense because we'll be at the Grand Floridian. So having that transportation perk is gonna be amazing. Being able to take the boat or the monorail that morning, or we could walk now, but having access to that transportation is gonna be so nice. And then for lunch, we do have a reservation at the Plaza, and the reason I love the Plaza and we eat there every time we're at Magic Kingdom is because they have some really good affordable options. The food's amazing, and we can typically split a meal and it's still the cost or less than a quick service meal, but we have a reserved table in the air conditioning. I just think it's the way to go when you're looking for an affordable lunch at Magic Kingdom. Go to the Plaza and just split something. You have an amazing view of the castle. You're right in the middle of everything. I love the Plaza. So after we're done with lunch, we will head back to the Grand Floridian and have quiet time or nap time for Ellie Rose. We have learned that she needs a nap back in the room. I know that a lot of babies and toddlers can nap on the go, and they can fall asleep in their stroller and you can just go on with your day. But Ellie Rose is not that way at all. So I am factoring in that nap time at 1 o'clock. We are gonna head back, and that is just gonna be a non-negotiable part of our day. I usually let her sleep as long as she wants. So I'm guessing she will probably take a 3-hour nap, no joke. So whenever she decides to get up, we will head back to Magic Kingdom. And that's gonna be the nicest thing of staying at the Grand Floridian, is that we can go back and forth so easily and take the boat, the monorail, you know, whatever, and we're right back at the park. So it's gonna be amazing. And then for dinner, I do have a reservation at Crystal Palace. We've never done this one before, and honestly, I'm still debating this reservation. So if you've done Crystal Palace, let me know in the comments if you think it's worth it. I don't know, I'm still torn. This is one that I might end up canceling, and I don't know, I'm not sure. So let me know your thoughts down below. Please help me out, I don't know. And then later that night, we have tickets for the fireworks dessert party. This is the pre-party version. And once you experience the fireworks dessert party at Magic Kingdom, you will never want to go back. This is one thing that is worth the price tag, and especially if you have little ones, you're paying for that reserved fireworks viewing location. So the desserts are great, but what I'm most excited about is being able to walk over to the hub grass with Ellie Rose, and she'll have plenty of room to run around during the fireworks, and we won't have to stake out a spot an hour in advance. We don't have to kind of squeeze our way through the crowds to find this, you know, little tiny corner somewhere, and you're shoulder to shoulder, and Ellie has nowhere to go. It's just, we've done that before, and then, you know, you have that mass exodus after the fireworks are done, and Ellie had a total meltdown. I mean, it was like screaming, just that, like, her face turned red, like one of those. So to avoid that this time, we are always gonna do the fireworks dessert party with her, at least in the toddler stage, because it's worth it. It's worth that hub grass viewing location. And then when the mass exodus happens after the fireworks, you still get to hang out in the hub grass, and we'll just hang out there for, you know, 20-30 minutes, let the crowds go, and then we can leisurely walk out of the park, and we're never shoulder to shoulder with people. It's so nice. So I highly recommend the fireworks dessert party. If you're able to get tickets for it, do it, budget it into your trip. It is so worth it. And our next full day, we are gonna be checking out of the Grand Floridian and we are heading over to Old Key West. So this is the day we are taking as our rest day, our pool day. We only have 3 full days, so we're doing 2 park days and 1 pool day. So I figured on the day that we are switching resorts, that would be a good one to just kind of chill, and that way we're not doing, you know, a crazy long park day where, you know, we're kind of in between resorts, not knowing where to go. So I figured the pool day would be a really good relaxing day for that. So we are going to store our bags in our car, and that's another perk of having your own car is you don't have to rely on Bell Services to bring your bags over. We'll have access to our bags all day long. And then we'll head over to the pool area and hang out there probably until lunchtime. So that's another perk of your checkout day is you have access to all of your resort amenities that entire day. So we still have access to the pool, you know, everything until I believe midnight that night. So really, really awesome. So we'll be able to hang out there and we can grab lunch at the pool bar and let Ellie play in the splash pad area. And then hopefully we'll get an early check-in. We have usually gotten early check-ins at Saratoga and Old Key West just because those resorts are much, much larger. I feel like we're more likely to get an early check-in. So hopefully that'll be the case. And then whenever we get that notification, we can just drive over to Old Key West. Even if it's 2 or 3 p.m., you know, we can still let Ellie have a nap back in the room at Old Key West. So that is our plan for our resort switch day. Hopefully it's low-key enough to where we can hold off on the nap a little bit longer for Ellie Rose. So I'm hoping it goes well. So we'll see. And then later that night, we might, you know, check out the pool at Old Key West if we still want more pool time. We may head over to Disney Springs and take advantage of that boat transportation. You know, I don't know, but I do have a dinner reservation at Olivia's. Again, that's another one that I may end up canceling. I may keep it. I'm not sure, depending if we want to just, you know, lay low at Old Key West, or if we want to venture out to Disney Springs, I might find something last minute over there. So we'll see how that night plays out, but this is gonna be a really chill day, and just hanging out at the resorts and the pools are some of my favorite Disney days, so I'm really, really excited about it. And our last full day, we are gonna be at Epcot. Now, I will admit, I was very torn between Epcot or Animal Kingdom just because Ellie loved Animal Kingdom. On our last trip, it was our favorite park day with her, but there are a couple of things at Epcot that I'm really excited about. I really want to experience Cosmic Rewind, so I'm hoping we can do the virtual queue for that and my mom and I can switch off. And then of course, Food and Wine Festival starts, I believe, a few days before we get there. So you guys know I'm a huge Epcot Festival fan. Food and Wine is one of my favorites. I love the festivals. I love being able to eat around the world and try all different things, and I just think it's so fun. And then another reason I'm going with Epcot is for Anna and Elsa. So Ellie is all about Elsa right now. I mean, just talks about Elsa nonstop, and I got her this little Elsa dress, and I think it's gonna be really, really fun. She keeps saying, go see Elsa in Elsa's house. So we're gonna go see Elsa in her house at Epcot, and I cannot wait to see Ellie's reaction. We're gonna do the Frozen ride again. Last time we did it with her, it broke down midway, so we didn't get to finish the ride. So hopefully we can do that again with her, and we'll get to do the entire ride because she loved it. And that was one of the only rides that she didn't have a meltdown on. So I think it's gonna go really well. So those are the reasons that I decided to go with Epcot over Animal Kingdom. So apart from our midday break that we will absolutely take, you know, around 1 o'clock, we'll drive back to Old Key West and let Ellie have her nap time and then come back later that evening. But apart from that, the only other thing I have planned is dinner at La Hacienda. And typically I don't make dining reservations at Epcot, especially when there's a festival going on. You just really don't need to. But I think with a toddler, it's gonna be really nice to be able to sit down in the air conditioning and kind of have that time dedicated to dinner rather than, you know, eating in the stroller and kind of on the go. It just looks a little different with a 2.5-year-old. So that's why I'm planning a dinner reservation for our Epcot day, and that's pretty much it though. And then our last day is our travel day home. So I always like to end our trip with some kind of fun breakfast before we go home, and I did make a breakfast reservation at Olivia's. I love their breakfast so much. It's been a few years since we've eaten there, so I'm just so excited for their breakfast. I'm like just dreaming about it already. So that's how we're gonna end the trip, and then we will hit the road and head out probably as soon as possible, just again, so we don't get home super late, because then 2 days later we are driving to the beach. So it's gonna be a busy couple of weeks, and you know, very much like me, to try to squeeze a Disney trip in the middle of all this, in the middle of us moving, in the middle of us building a house, in the middle of us, you know, going to the beach. So it only seems right to plan a Disney trip. So that is what our July trip is gonna look like. Of course, I'm so excited to vlog the entire trip and bring you guys along with me, and make sure that you are following over on Instagram if you wanna follow along with the trip in real time. I keep up with my Instagram stories over there, so make sure to check that out. I'll have my handle linked down below, and make sure that you are subscribed if you're not already. That way you can be notified when I post my next video, and you don't miss the trip vlogs coming very soon. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I'm so excited to bring you guys along on this trip, and get ready for all the packing content and toddler packing videos. Thank you guys again, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps support the channel, and that is it for today. I will see you in my next one. Bye.